For every broken heart, there's a story waiting to mend. A love once lost, a promise shattered, a soul learning how to feel again. Welcome to Heartbound Tales, where every tear has meaning, every betrayal has a reason, and every ending dares to hope again. If you believe love deserves another chance, like, subscribe, and stay for the next story that might just heal you to Chapter 1. The message across time said it was impossible to send a thought across time. But that night, as the machine hummed and the blue light filled the lab, I didn't care about science or rules. I just wanted one thing. One last chance to stop myself from loving her. Dr. Myrail stood beside me, tapping on her console. "You understand the risk, Eli," she said. "Once we start, the past might bend in ways you can't predict." "I don't care," I whispered. My voice shook. "I just need to tell me, not to trust her." She looked up, her expression unreadable. "You're not sending a full memory, only an imprint. A few seconds of emotion, maybe a phrase. Anything more could break reality?" I asked with a bitter laugh. "That already happened 3 years ago." She didn't argue. Instead, she handed me a small earpiece connected to the machine's core. "Think of the moment," she said softly. "The moment everything went wrong." My fingers trembled as I held it. The moment everything went wrong. The night she said goodbye. The night I saw her hand in his. I closed my eyes. "Lena," I breathed. Her name still hurt to say. "You ruined me." Myrail pressed a button. The machine's hum deepened, vibrating through the floor. "Focus," she said. "Picture your younger self. Lock onto the memory." I pictured my old apartment, the flickering lamp, the smell of rain, the unopened wine bottle I'd bought for our anniversary. I was 24, naive, in love, waiting for a woman who was already gone. I whispered into the earpiece, "Don't trust her. Don't let her touch your life." For a moment, nothing happened. Then everything snapped. The world flickered like a dying light bulb. The walls bent inward. I heard my own voice echoing back, hundreds of versions of it, overlapping, whispering the same warning. "Don't trust her. Don't trust her." Then silence. I opened my eyes. The machine was still. The lab was gone. I was standing in my apartment, the same one from 3 years ago. At first, I thought it was a hallucination. The air smelled like old rain again. The wine bottle sat unopened on the table. My phone buzzed, and for one horrible second, I saw her name on the screen. Lena. Double quotes. She said through the receiver, "I'm almost there. Did you get the candles I asked for?" My breath caught. "Lena." "Who else?" She laughed. "You sound weird. Are you okay?" My heart pounded. I turned toward the mirror and saw the younger version of me staring back. My hair shorter, my face smoother, my eyes still innocent. But I was inside him. Or maybe he was inside me. I dropped the phone. "This isn't real," I muttered. "This can't be." The knock came at the door. I knew that sound. The rhythm of her knuckles. I replayed it in nightmares for years. "Eli?" Her voice came through, warm and familiar. "Open up." I wanted to run, to scream, to disappear. But my body moved on its own. I opened the door. And there she was, Lena. She looked the same, soft curls falling over her shoulders. Smile gentle enough to make you forget everything bad about the world. Her perfume hit me like a ghost from a dream. "I missed you," she said, stepping in. Kissing my cheek. My throat tightened. I remembered what came next. How she pretended everything was fine for a week before she left for Noah, my best friend. My brother and everything but blood. But now I had a chance. "Lena," I said slowly. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure," she said, setting her purse down. "What's wrong? Do you love me?" She laughed, like I'd just told a joke. "Of course I do. What's this about?" I stared at her. My mind screamed liar. I wanted to shake her, to tell her what she'd do, who she'd become, how she'd ruin everything. But my voice came out soft. "Just promise me you'll never hurt me." Her smile faltered. "Eli, what's going on?" "I just need to hear you say it." She looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. "I promise." The word hit me like a blade. because I remembered 3 years later. She said the same thing right before she walked out with Noah. Suddenly, the room warped again. The lights flickered. Lena blinked in confusion. What's happening? My ears rang. I could hear voices again, mine, overlapping across Tom. You changed it. You changed it. You shouldn't have. Then everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was back in the lab. Smoke filled the air. The machine was silent, its lights dead. Dr. Myrail stood motionless, eyes wide. What happened? I rasped. Her hands trembled. You did it. The signal went through. I tried to stand. My legs barely held me. Did it work? She looked at me for a long moment. I don't know, she said quietly. But something shifted. I didn't understand until I looked at her and saw nothing in her eyes. Not recognition, not memory, just emptiness. Who are you? She asked. My blood ran cold. Chapter 2. The day she left. The first thing I heard when I woke up was rain. The second was her voice. Eli, wake up. You're going to be late again. For a moment, I just stared at her, Lena, lying beside me, wrapped in the blanket I remembered throwing away years ago. Her hair was messy, her eyes sleepy. She smiled like nothing had ever gone wrong. Morning, she said softly. I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what day it was or which life I was in, but everything inside me whispered the same warning. This is the day she leaves you, Lena, I said, my voice rough. What's today? She laughed. You forgot. It's the anniversary of our first date. Don't tell me you didn't get me anything. Her laugh was exactly as I remembered, light, teasing, the kind that made my chest ache. I swallowed hard. Of course I did. I hadn't, but I remembered the night, the restaurant, the argument, the way she said she needed space, the way she never came back. Only now. I wasn't sure if it would happen again. I got out of bed and stared at the city through the window. The same skyline, the same cracked building across the street, but something was off. A subtle flicker, like the world itself was struggling to stay real. Behind me, Lena's phone buzzed. She reached for it quickly, too quickly. Who's that? I asked. She hesitated. Just work. Why? My heart sank. The lie was the same. The tone, the timing, everything. I stepped closer. Is it Noah? Her head snapped up. What? You heard me, I said. My voice was shaking, but I didn't stop. You're texting Noah again, aren't you? She frowned, confused. Eli, what are you talking about? I haven't spoken to him in weeks. That's a lie. Eli, don't. I snapped. Don't say my name like that. Like you care. Her expression shifted. Not guilt, not fear, but pity. The same look she gave me 3 years ago, right before she broke me. You're scaring me. She whispered. Good, I said quietly. Maybe now you'll understand what it felt like. She grabbed her coat. I don't know what's gotten into you, but I'm leaving. We'll talk when you calm down. No, I said, blocking the door. That's what you said last time, and then you never came back. Her eyes widened. Last time. For a moment, the air between us felt wrong, too heavy, too sharp. The room flickered, and for an instant, I saw two versions of her standing in the same spot. One wearing the blue coat from the night she left. The other, the one in front of me now, terrified and shaking. I don't understand, she whispered. Neither do I said. But I'm not letting you walk out the door. Her phone buzzed again. She looked at it and froze. Noah. The name glowed on the screen. She backed away from me. How do you know all this? I took a step closer. Because I've lived it before. Her voice trembled. You're not making sense. I don't have to, I said, softer now. Just listen. You're going to choose him. You'll ruin everything, and you'll regret it when it's too late. Tears filled her eyes. You sound insane. Maybe I am, I said. But I'm right. She turned and ran. The door slammed. I chased her into the hallway. But when I reached the end of the stairs, she was gone. I looked around. The street outside was empty. Too empty. The lights were dimmer, colors fading like old paint. And then, Faintly, I heard something. A whisper. My own voice. You changed it. I turned in circles, but no one was there. The sound came from everywhere and nowhere. You changed the day she left. Now the timeline doesn't know what to do with you. I pressed my hands to my ears. Stop it. But it didn't stop. The whispers grew louder, overlapping, echoing inside my skull. She's not meant to love you again. I stumbled back inside the apartment. Her perfume still lingered in the air. Her coat hung on the chair. The phone buzzed again. Another message from Noah. Noah, we need to talk. He's starting to remember. My stomach dropped. I stared at the screen until the letters blurred, then whispered, what did I do? The lights flickered again, and just before everything went black, I heard her voice in the distance, trembling, broken. Eli, who are you? Chapter 3 of the second timeline. When I woke up again, the rain was gone. The air was warm, too warm. I sat up slowly, my head pounding like I'd been hit. My apartment looked the same, but something felt different. The photos on the wall weren't mine. The one above the couch, me and Lena at the beach, that day never happened. I didn't remember the photo being taken, but there it was. We were smiling. She had her arm around me. We looked happy. Then I heard her voice from the kitchen. Morning, sleepyhead. I froze. Lena walked out, wearing one of my shirts, holding 2 mugs of coffee. You were tossing all night, she said. Another nightmare? My throat was dry. Yeah, I said quietly. Something like that. She kissed my cheek and handed me the mug. You really need to stop drinking coffee before bed. Her warmth was real. Her scent, familiar. Everything about her screamed home. But deep inside, something didn't fit. I stared at her for a long time. Lena, when did we go to the beach? She blinked. Which time? In that photo, I said, pointing at the frame. She frowned, walking over. Eli, that was just last summer. Are you serious? You even said it was your favorite trip. I forced a smile. Right, yeah. I just forgot. She studied me for a second, then shrugged it off. You've been acting weird lately. She left the room, humming softly, the same song she used to play when she was nervous. I didn't remember that either. I turned on my phone. New wallpaper, new messages, hundreds of texts, some from names I didn't recognize. Some from Noah. The most recent one read, Noah, see you at the rehearsal dinner. Bro, don't be late. My stomach tightened. Rehearsal dinner. I opened my calendar app. There it was. Wedding, Eli and Lena, Saturday, 4 p.m. I felt dizzy. In the original timeline, she left me before we ever talked about marriage. But now the machine, the message, it changed everything. Babe, she called from the kitchen. We still on for dinner with Noah tonight. I froze mid-step. Dinner? Yeah, she said. He said he has something important to tell us before the wedding. You two need to make peace. The words made my skin crawl. I don't think that's a good idea. She peeked out from the doorway, frowning. You two were best friends for 10 years. I thought you already forgave him for whatever that stupid fight was about. I didn't answer, because I remembered exactly what the fight was about. Her. She sighed. Please, Eli, he's your best man. Let's just have one peaceful night before the big day. My chest tightened. She was marrying me, and Noah was still here, still close, still smiling in every picture on my phone like nothing had ever gone wrong. I managed to nod. Sure. Dinner. Fine. That evening, when we arrived at the restaurant, everything felt too perfect. The lights, the smiles, the laughter. It all felt staged. Noah stood up when he saw us. His grin was wide, practiced. Eli, my man. He hugged me, clapping my back. You look good, brother. I could feel my pulse in my throat. Yeah. You too. He pulled out a chair for Lena, then sat across from me. So, he said, the big day. Can you believe it? Not really. I said flatly. Lena kicked me lightly under the table. He's just nervous. Noah chuckled. Don't blame him. If I were marrying you, I'd be terrified too. The table went quiet, Lena smiled awkwardly. You're impossible. But his eyes didn't leave mine. And in that silence, I saw it, the same spark I remember from the first timeline. The secret that ruined everything. I leaned forward. Do you ever think about what could have gone differently? He smirked. You mean if you hadn't messed everything up 3 years ago? My blood turned cold. What? Lena's eyes darted between us. What's going on? Noah leaned back, grinning. Relax. I'm just joking. But I knew it wasn't a joke. He remembered something. Maybe not clearly, but enough. After dinner, when Lena went to the restroom, I grabbed his wrist. What do you remember? He looked down at my hand, then up at me. More than I should, he whispered. And so do you? The air felt heavy again. Time seemed to ripple. For a second, I saw his face flicker, two versions overlapping. Like a glitch. Whatever you did, he said quietly. You shouldn't have touched it. He pulled free and walked away. When Lena came back, I was still frozen. Eli? She asked softly. What's wrong? I couldn't answer. Because right then, as I looked at her, at this perfect, smiling version of her, I realized something terrifying. I didn't know which Lena I was talking to anymore. The one who loved me, or the one who betrayed me. Chapter 4. Cracks in the mirror asterisk at first. It was small things. The barista at my usual cafe hesitated before saying my name. The security guard at my office asked for my ID, even though he'd greeted me every morning for years. And when I logged into my work computer, my username didn't exist. Must be a glitch, Clara said, peering over my shoulder. She was a coworker, bright, warm, and one of the few people I trusted. Did you spell it right? I've worked here 5 years, I said. I think I know my own name. She smiled nervously. For years, she corrected. You joined in 2021. Remember? I froze. No, 2020. She tilted her head. Eli, are you okay? I forced a laugh. Yeah, just tired. But I wasn't okay. Because when she turned back to her desk, I saw her phone screen, a company group chat. Everyone's name was there except mine. I left early that day. When I stepped outside, the world felt dimmer. Not darker, just less. Like reality had lost a layer of color. People brushed past me on the sidewalk without looking up. No smiles, no greetings, no recognition. By the time I got home, my hands were shaking. Hey, Lena said from the living room. Rough day. I stared at her for a moment. Her voice sounded the same, but something about her face was off. Softer around the eyes. Younger, maybe, yeah. I said, rough day. She patted the couch. Come sit with me. We'll watch something. I sat down beside her, trying to focus on the TV. A romantic comedy flickered across the screen, the kind of movie she used to love. But halfway through, I realized something horrifying. It was the same movie we'd watched the night before. Scene for scene. Word for word, Lena. I said quietly. Didn't we watch this yesterday? She blinked. No, this is new. I stared at her. You sure? She frowned, pausing the movie. Eli, you're acting weird again. Are you still mad about last night? Last night? I asked. You and Noah. She said. You barely spoke at dinner. My heart sank. That was 2 nights ago. No, she said softly. That was yesterday. I opened my mouth, then stopped. The clock on the wall read Tuesday, but my phone said Wednesday. I need air, I muttered, standing up. Eli, I'll be right back. Outside, the streetlights flickered like dying fireflies. My reflection in a store window stared back at me, pale, hollow, frightened. Get a grip. I whispered to myself. You did this. You changed things. This is the price. I turned back toward our building and froze. There were no lights on in our apartment. The window was dark, the curtains gone, and in the reflection, I wasn't there, not just the street, the glass, and nothing where I should have been. A voice behind me made me jump. Rough night. It was Clara. She stood under the streetlight, holding a grocery bag. What are you doing here? I asked. She looked confused. You told me to drop by, remember? I did. Yeah, she said slowly. You said you had something important to tell me. I stared at her, trying to remember, but there was nothing, just static in my mind. I think I'm losing it, I whispered. Clara stepped closer. Talk to me, Eli. What's happening? I swallowed hard. I think the world's forgetting me, she blinked. That's not funny. I'm serious, I said. My name's gone from the system. People look at me like I'm a stranger. Even Lena's acting different. Clara hesitated. You mean your wife? I nodded. She frowned. You're not married, Eli. My blood went cold. What? You told me you broke up with her years ago. I shook my head. No, we're getting married on Saturday. Clara's expression changed. Pity, confusion, fear. Eli. She's engaged to Noah. I saw the post myself. The air seemed to vanish from my lungs. That's not possible. She pulled out her phone, scrolling. Here, she said, showing me the screen. A photo. Lena and Noah, smiling. Caption. Can't wait to marry my best friend. My knees buckled. The world tilted. No, I whispered. I changed it. I fixed it. Clara reached for me. Eli, what do you mean changed it? I couldn't answer. I was already running back toward the apartment that might not even exist anymore. When I burst through the door, the living room was empty. No couch, no pictures, just dust and silence. I stumbled to the mirror by the door and stared. At first, I saw my face. Then, behind it, faintly, another version of me, screaming silently, fading in the static. The glass cracked. And somewhere deep inside, I heard the voice again. My own voice. You're not supposed to be here. Chapter 5. The betrayal repeats. The next morning, I woke up on the floor. My clothes were damp, the air thick with dust. For a moment, I thought I dreamed it all. The missing apartment, the fading reflection, the voice in the mirror. But then I looked around. The room wasn't mine. There were boxes stacked along the walls, labeled with names I didn't recognize. I stood, dizzy. My phone was gone. My wallet too. Only the ring box remained in my pocket, the one I planned to give Lena. I opened it, empty. A sharp sound cut through the silence. Laughter, familiar and cruel. I ran to the window. Across the street, through an open balcony door, I saw them. Lena and Noah. She was wearing the same blue dress she'd worn on our first anniversary. He was twirling her around, clumsy but happy. The sight made my chest tighten like someone was twisting a knife inside it. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then Noah leaned in and kissed her. I stumbled back from the window, heart pounding. No, I whispered. It can't be happening again. But it was. The same scene, the same betrayal. Only this time, it wasn't the past. It was now. I grabbed my jacket and ran. The streets blurred around me, the city warping at the edges. When I reached their building, I didn't bother with the elevator. I stormed up the stairs two at a time. By the time I reached the third floor, I could hear their voices through the door. Are you nervous? Noah asked. A little, Lena said, laughing softly. I just want everything to be perfect this time. This time. I clenched my fists and knocked hard. The door opened after a long pause. Lena's smile faded the moment she saw me. Eli. Her voice cracked on my name, the way it used to when she was scared. Noah stepped forward. Who the hell are you? I ignored him. Lena. It's me. Her eyes darted around, searching for something familiar in my face. I don't understand. You know me. I said. You have to remember. We were together. You said yes. You promised. I don't know you, she said quietly. I think you should go. I stepped closer. Don't lie to me, please. Noah grabbed my arm. You need to leave before I call security. I yanked free. You took everything from me once. Isn't that enough? Lena flinched. What are you talking about? You betrayed me. I said. On the night I needed you most, you left. You destroyed me. I warned myself about you, and now it's happening all over again. She stared at me like I was a stranger off the street. Eli, I think you're sick. I laughed. broken, tired. Maybe I am. Maybe that's what it takes to remember. No step between us. That's it. We're done here. He reached for his phone, but I caught his wrist. Do you remember me? What? Do you remember me? He shook his head. No, should I? That was it, the final cut. Whatever timeline I'd forced into existence had rewritten them both. I wasn't just erased from their lives. I was erased from reality. I let go of him. My voice was barely a whisper. You will remember. One day, I turned to leave, but then I heard it, Lena's voice, soft, shaking. Eli, wait. I froze. She took a hesitant step forward. Did we really love each other? I looked back at her. Her eyes were wet, not with fear, but confusion, like she was fighting something inside her mind. Yes, I said quietly. More than anything, she reached out as if to touch me, but her hand passed right through mine. I staggered back, heart pounding. What's happening? Her lips trembled. I don't know. I can't. Then the world flickered. For a split second, everything went black and white. Noah's face froze mid-motion. The walls rippled like waves, and behind Lena, in the reflection of the window, I saw my past self, standing there, watching. His expression was one of horror. I could hear his voice in my head, echoing like thunder. I told you not to do this. Stop. I shouted, grabbing my head. Stop it. But it didn't stop. The apartment around me dissolved into static. I saw flashes, memories that weren't mine. A wedding that never happened. A car crash that never took place. A funeral without a body. Then silence. When the static cleared, I was standing in a dark, empty hall. No Lena. No Noah. Just echoes dot in the center of the room. A single photo frame lay shattered on the floor. I picked it up. Inside was a picture of me, smiling, with Lena and Noah, only this time. The version of me in the photo was fading. Piece by piece, I whispered, am I dying? A voice, my voice, answered from the shadows. Not dying, being replaced. I spun around, searching. Who are you? You know who I am, the voice said. The version of you that belonged here, the one who didn't interfere. I stumbled back. I just wanted to make things right. You broke the loop, the voice hissed. Now, time is fixing itself. I fell to my knees, clutching the fading photo. I loved her, I know, said the voice. That's why she'll forget you. Again, the world began to dissolve, starting from the edges. Furniture turned to dust. Light dimmed. My reflection on the glass window flickered one last time, then vanished, and somewhere far away, I heard Lena scream my name, like she finally remembered. But by then, I was already gone. Chapter 6. I was never meant to exist. When I woke up, sunlight was spilling through the window. For a second, I thought everything was fine, that the nightmare had ended. Then I realized I didn't recognize the room. The walls were painted pale green. A stack of medical folders sat on the desk beside me. My arm was hooked to an IV line. I tried to sit up. Hello. A nurse rushed in, startled. You're awake. Where am I? St. Mary's Hospital, she said gently. You've been unconscious for 3 days. 3 days. My head throbbed. What? What happened? You were found near the river, she said. No ID, no phone. The police are still trying to identify you. No ID. I patted my pockets. Nothing. Not even the ring box. I'm Eli, I said. Eli Morgan. She hesitated, flipping through her clipboard. There's no record of that name. I frowned. Check again. She gave me a sympathetic smile. We did. No birth certificate, no address, no social number. You don't seem to exist. I laughed, short and bitter. Yeah, that sounds about right. She looked uneasy. Should I call someone for you? I hesitated. Lena Carter, please. She nodded and left the room. I stared at the ceiling, my heart racing. Minutes later, she returned, face pale. I'm sorry, she said softly. There's no one by that name in our records. Are you sure? I'm sure, I said, gripping the sheets. Try again. The door opened before I could finish. A man stepped inside. Noah. Except he looked different. His hair was shorter, his face older. He wore a doctor's coat with his name on the badge. Dr. Noah Carter. Eli, he said cautiously. You're awake. I froze. You know me. Not personally, he said. But when they found you, you kept saying my name. I did. He nodded. You called for me. And for someone named Lena. I swallowed. Where is she? He looked confused. Lena. Your wife. His brow furrowed. My wife's name is Maria. I felt my stomach drop. Maria. He nodded. We've been married 8 years. We don't know any Lena. I couldn't breathe. No, that's not right. He crossed his arms. Eli, I've looked through every database. There's no record of you. No job, no address, no family. You just appeared. I didn't appear. I said, I've been here the whole time. Where? He asked quietly. Because according to every file I can access, you were never born. My pulse thundered in my ears. I changed something, I whispered. I warned myself. I broke the timeline. Noah frowned. I don't know what that means. You wouldn't, I said. In your world, I never existed. He sighed. You need rest. I'll schedule a psych consult. Don't treat me like a patient, I snapped. You have to believe me. We used to be friends. I love Lena, and she loved me. He looked at me for a long time, pity in his eyes. I'm sorry, Eli, but there is no Lena. He turned and left. When the door closed, the silence pressed down on me. My heart felt like it was beating underwater. I looked at the window, my reflection staring back. Paled hollow. Half there. Why? I whispered to it. Why erase me? The reflection smiled faintly. But I didn't doubt. My voice echoed inside my skull. Deeper, older, calmer. You asked for it. I stumbled back. Who are you? You warned yourself. Remember, I just wanted to save her. And you did. You warned your past self, the version of you that belonged here. He moved on. He never met her. She never broke. And you became the leftover piece. I gritted my teeth. That's not fair. It's not about fair. It's balance. Then where do I go? I asked. The reflection tilted its head. Nowhere. You were never meant to exist. The world is already healing without you. My hands trembled. So what happens to me? You fade, the voice said simply, quietly, so no one notices. I laughed, a shaky, hopeless sound. That's it. You wanted peace, didn't you? I shook my head. Not like this. The reflection blinked, and I saw something behind it. A faint image, like a memory projected on glass. Lena, alive, smiling, walking down an aisle. Noah waiting at the altar. Everything perfect. She's happy, I whispered. Because you gave her the chance, the voice said. Tears blurred my vision. But at the cost of myself. That's what love is, isn't it? I stared at the image, her face glowing, eyes full of peace. For the first time, I saw no guilt there, no pain. I pressed my palm to the window. Then it's worth it. The reflection smiled faintly. My smile, but softer. The light outside flickered, turning golden. My reflection began to dissolve, particle by particle. I could feel it too, my body growing lighter. Transparent. The nurse came back in, holding a file. Mister, she hesitated, blinking. Wait. Oh, but I was already gone. All that remained was the ring box on the bed, now closed again. Chapter 7. The day no one remembered me. It's strange, watching the world move on without you. There's no pain at first, just silence. A stillness so deep it feels like I'm floating. I opened my eyes, or maybe I only thought I did, and found myself standing in the middle of a street. The sun was bright. People rushed by, laughing, talking, living. None of them saw me. Hey, I called. My voice didn't carry. Can anyone hear me? Nothing. I walked to the corner cafe where I used to order the same burnt coffee every morning. The smell hit me before I stepped through the door, bitter and familiar. Clara was behind the counter, humming. I smiled. Clara, it's me. She didn't look up. I leaned on the counter. My hand went straight through it. Through her. For a moment, I thought I'd scream. Instead, I whispered, "So this is what it means to be forgotten." She laughed at something a customer said. Her voice was lighter, happier. I wanted to be angry, but all I felt was this dull ache, the kind you get when you wake from a dream you wish had lasted longer. I stepped outside. Across the street, I saw a florist, a small shop covered in vines. The sign read Lena's Garden. My chest tightened. She was inside, arranging roses, her hair tied back, a soft tune humming from her lips. She looked peaceful. Lena, I breathed. She turned, as if she'd felt something. Her eyes met the window, directly where I stood. For one heartbeat, I thought she saw me, but then she smiled faintly, shaking her head. Weird, she murmured, to no one in particular. A little boy ran up behind her, maybe 5 or 6 years old. "Mom, Dad says dinner's ready." She turned, laughing. "Okay, tell him I'll be right there." The boy ran off. I froze. Mom. So she moved on. She found peace, maybe even love again. That should have hurt more than it did. But instead, I felt something like relief. She deserved this, I whispered. Still, I couldn't walk away. I lingered outside, watching through the glass. She placed a bouquet on the counter, lilies and white roses. "My favorite combination. You still remember," I murmured. But maybe she didn't. Maybe it was coincidence. Or maybe love leaves echoes, even when names fade. I turned to leave, but something stopped me. The reflection in the glass shifted. My reflection, faint and flickering. "Still here?" I asked it, barely. The reflection said, "Am I dead?" "Not yet, just forgotten." I swallowed. "What happens to me now?" "You fade completely when no one remembers you at all." I looked back at Lena, laughing with her child. "So it's almost time. Double quotes. Yes. I took a deep breath. "Then let me see them one last time." The reflection tilted its head. "You sure?" "Yes." The world blinked, and I was somewhere else. A garden. The same one where Lena and I once dreamed about our future. Except now, there was a bench where we used to sit, and an old couple sitting there. The man was Noah. His hair had turned silver. Beside him, Maria, not Lena. They looked content, calm. The kind of happiness people earn after years of storms. Noah spoke softly. "Do you ever feel like something's missing? Like someone should have been part of your story, but wasn't?" Maria smiled. "Sometimes. But then I think, maybe they're happier where they are." Noah chuckled. "Yeah, maybe." I felt my throat tighten. "You're not wrong." He glanced around suddenly, eyes narrowing, like he'd heard a whisper. For a moment, I thought he saw me, but then he smiled to himself. Weird, I thought I heard someone. Maria rested her head on his shoulder. "Probably just the wind." "Yeah," he murmured. "Just the wind." I stepped closer. "I forgive you," I said quietly. My voice carried this time, just enough for him to shiver. He didn't know why, but maybe part of him understood. Then the world shimmered again. I was in my old apartment, or what used to be mine. The walls were bare, discoated the windows, but on the floor, by the cracked mirror, something waited. A photo, the same one I'd seen before me. Lena, Noah, only now. My image was gone completely. Just a smiling faces left. I picked it up, feeling my fingers sink through the edges like smoke. "Guess that's that," I whispered. My reflection in the broken mirror looked back, faint, tired, almost gone. "You did what you came to do," it said. "I didn't mean to disappear." I said. "You didn't disappear," it replied. "You became memory. You became what love leaves behind." The light around me dimmed. My body was almost transparent now, the outline of a ghost in someone else's story. "Tell me something," I whispered. "Will they ever remember me?" "Not in names or faces," the reflection said, "but maybe in feelings, in moments that make no sense. When the wind feels familiar, or a stranger's smile feels like home." That's where you'll be, and I close my eyes. That's enough. The world grew soft, fading like the last page of a story. I could still hear the faint hum of the city, laughter, music, life, and somewhere in it all, Lena's voice, faint, almost lost, whispered my name. I smiled, then the sound faded. The world went quiet, and I was gone. Chapter 8, When Time Forgets You. Love does an asterisk. That's what I remember first. Not darkness, silence. A silence so deep it feels endless, like I'm floating between heartbeats for a while. I think maybe this is what death is, the quiet erasure after the story ends. But then I hear something, a heartbeat, not mine. Hers. Lena. The sound pulls me through the stillness like a thread through fabric. When I open my eyes, I'm standing in a garden again. The sky is pale gold. The air smells like rain. She's there, older now, gray streaks in her hair, tending to her flowers. I want to call her name, but the words won't come. The air steals them. Still, she pauses, her hand hovering above a rose, and looks around. Hello. She whispers. Her voice trembles like she's afraid she's talking to no one. I step closer. Though she can't see me, it's May. Whisper. Her eyes soften. Eli. My chest tightens. She shouldn't remember. She isn't supposed to. But something, a whisper left behind, maybe it still reaches her. She smiles faintly. I don't know why I said that name, she murmurs. It just felt right. She kneels, trimming a wilted rose. The garden hums quietly around her. Bees, wind, the small sounds of life that never stop. I've had dreams, she says softly, as if talking to herself, about someone who used to stand right here, always by the lilies. My throat tightens. That was me. I can never see his face, she says. But every time I wake up, my heart aches like I've lost something important. I whisper, you did. Her hands tremble. She presses a rose to her chest, eyes glistening. I hope he's happy, wherever he is. I smile through tears she can't see. I am. For a long time. I just watch her, the way sunlight catches in her hair, the way she hums the same old tunes she used to sing while cooking. She's slower now, fragile, but peaceful, and that's enough. I start to turn away, ready to finally let go. Then I hear a child's voice, small, bright, curious. Grandma, who are you talking to? Lena turns. Oh, just the garden, sweetheart. The boy, her grandson, maybe 7, tilts his head. You said a name. Eli, she smiles. Did I? Yeah. He says, who's that? Lena looks at the roses. Someone I think I once knew. Or maybe someone I was supposed to know. The boy plucks a flower and hands it to her. Then you didn't forget him. If you still remember the name. She laughs softly. Maybe you're right. He looks up at the sky. Do you think he's watching us? Lena hesitates. Then she nods. Yes. I think he never really left. The boy smiles. That's nice. Then he must really like your garden. Lena smiles too. He always did. My chest aches. But this time, not from pain. From peace. I kneel beside them, though neither can see me. The boy's laughter feels warm, familiar somehow, like an echo of my own. Maybe that's the point. Maybe love doesn't vanish. It just changes shape. The wind picks up. The garden chimes begin to sing. Lena closes her eyes. You feel that breeze? Yeah, the boy says, grinning. It's warm. She nods. That's him. Saying goodbye. I whisper, goodbye, Lena. But even as I say it, I realize it isn't goodbye. Not really. Because in that moment, the sunlight brightens, and I see the memories I left behind unfold like film reels. Lena's laughter. Our first kiss by the lake. The night she said yes. The morning she left. The moment I forgave her. Each memory flickers, fading softly into the light. Then another memory, one that never happened, but feels real all the same. Lena walking down an aisle, my hand reaching out, not to stop her, just to bless her path. That's the version of me that stays. The one that loves without needing to be seen. The garden around me blurs into brightness. My body dissolves, weightless, and calm. And in the light, I hear her voice one last time. I never forgot you. Not really. I just didn't know who you were anymore. I whisper. That's enough. The world ripples. Soft gold turning to white, and then I'm everywhere. In the wind brushing against her cheek, and the petals that fall onto her hands, and the laughter of her grandson as he runs through the flowers, and every small kindness she gives to the world. That's where I live now. Time keeps moving. Years pass like minutes. Seasons change, and the garden grows wilder. The bench where she used to sit stays empty after she's gone. But the roses, my roses, keep blooming. One morning, long after she's left this world, the boy, now grown, finds a letter buried under a stone by the lilies. The paper is yellowed, the ink faded, but he can still read the words. To whoever finds this, I was here once. I loved, and I was loved. And though time forgot my name, love didn't. Remember that. He reads it aloud softly, smiling. Eli, he says, testing the name. And for a brief, beautiful moment, the wind stirs the garden, gentle, warm, alive. He laughs. Guess you're still around, huh? I whisper in the breeze. Always. The sunlight drifts through the petals, scattering gold across the soil. And somewhere beyond the bounds of time, I stand in the light, watching the world that once forgot me continue to remember in its own quiet ways. No bitterness, no sorrow, just peace, because even when time forgets your name, love doesn't.